Hey everybody, long time no hear. We've been having some family drama that I had to attend to, so my apologies for being absent, just straight up MIA. But I wanted to, kind of start breaking myself back in here with a video that responds to some of the many questions that have been posed both on Facebook and on this YouTube channel. Now, there were too many to put all in one video, so I'll deal with a couple of them here, and then I'll make another video, after Thanksgiving. But let's get started here. Because some of these questions are crazy, and then you look at some of the answers that people give, in the different threads and stuff that I followed on Facebook, and it just shows that a lot of sisters are out of touch with reality. They don't understand what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be handling men and the people that drag, try to put them through drag and drama. But I'm going to explain to you, and then we can talk about it a little bit more, of course, in the comment section, because I'm sure there will be people that disagree with my stance, but you know me, who gives a fuck what you think? This is about me. Okay, so here we go. Hey, Miss Deborah, she asks. I was wondering if you would do a video on men who ask stupid questions. A female YouTuber was dragged through the mud because her man asked her a stupid question. He asked specifically if she would choose for him to be shot or for her mother to be raped. This mammy woman chose the latter. She was dragged on social media, but nobody asked why the fuck he would ask some stupid shit like that. What are your thoughts? Okay, first of all, after I finished laughing, which was about 2 weeks later, I was sitting there like, okay, what woman would be stupid enough to respond to something like this? First of all, if you have a man whose mentality is that twisted and that kind of fucked up that he would even think of some shit like that, let alone fix his rubbery lips to ask you some shit like that, you should just slap him or drop kick him in the chest or just, next him or whatever you're going to do, because that is some dumb shit right there. Okay, but this lady, she obviously didn't know that that was what she's supposed to do, so she answered the question that was posed to her. And let me remind you, just because people ask you a question does not obligate you to respond. Just because somebody calls you, you don't have to pick up the phone. Just because someone comes and knocks on your door doesn't mean you have to answer it. You guys put yourself in situations where you have no boundaries. You have to have boundaries which protect you from stupidity like this. Okay, so why would he ask something like that, she says. I have no clue. My brain doesn't work on that low level of intellect, so it's really hard for me to imagine. The only thing I can come up with is because he's stupid, and then we have to ask, well, why are you fucking around with a stupid man? This is the kind of thing that those two options right there are both sick and twisted. But since he was the one asking you, you just say, oh no, without a doubt, for you to be shot. Now, see, he doesn't say that he's shot dead. See, this is the trick. And this is like, if you guys ever play at sororities and fraternities, you know how they do trick stuff to get you to think. This is one of those things. He never said that he would be killed. Okay? He said shot. Okay, he could be shot. I mean, it could be a flesh wound. He could be shot through the heart. He could be shot in the head. But he doesn't say where he's shot. You know what I mean? So I would choose him to be shot for sure, because A, you need to be shot for asking me this stupid ass question, and number two, you need to be shot just on GP, because if my mama's not gonna be hurt, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that she's not. So she made the mistake of saying that for her mother to be raped. Now she must not like her mother at all. That's all I can think. Her and her mother must be having some major beef, because that could not even possibly have come up as a logical response to anything. So to answer this question, niggas are constantly asking dumbass questions. I mean, that's just what they do. It's like asking, why do snakes bite people? Why do dogs bark? Why do fish swim? I mean, this is what they do. Niggas ask stupid questions. It's just a part of what they are as humans. So I can't really define it any more than that. Now, what I really wanted though is ask women though, if you're faced with a guy asking you a stupid question like that, why do you answer it? See, that's the real question. Why did you answer? Not so much what she answered, which they got her dragged on social media, deservedly so, but why did she answer? See, that would be my question to her. Why did you respond at all? Why did you not just shut him down and say, you just one stupid ass fuck, get out of my face with that dumb shit? That's all you need to say, okay? And move on to something else. Start talking about something more important, like, Trump's hairdo or something. That's what you do. All right, so let's move on here. Let's move on to the next question. This lady is married. And she says, usually we talk about singles here, but since most of the singles, well, okay, not most, half the singles want to eventually end up getting married. Marriage does come up on this channel here and there. And so I respond to married women, many of who are headed towards being single. They may not know it yet, but that's what's happening. Okay, so this lady says, I need some serious advice. I love my husband with all I have. He's truly an amazing man. But I am sick of his family. I am truly at my breaking point with the constant drama and disrespect. The latest issue is my husband and I had a reception because we never had one before. They are mad because, and he's talking about his family, are mad because I didn't entertain them at my reception. They're not mad at him, just me. I've been called out of my name and threatened. Mind you, I apologized to his mom if she felt I disrespected her in any way, but I was just enjoying my night. I am truly about to walk away from my marriage because I can't deal with this mess, and he is very close to them. He tries to defend me, but in a way that doesn't make them upset. I have prayed and turned the other cheek. I'm tired, very tired. My husband and I are, for the first time in our marriage, not even talking to each other unless it's about our household. Okay. So, what is the response here from Deborah? Okay, first of all, that praying shit, that, turning the other cheek bullshit, all that old stuff right there, that doesn't apply when you're dealing with bitches, okay? That only applies when you're dealing with people who have the sense to conduct themselves in a manner of respect, who maybe made a mistake. Okay, well then you turn the other cheek, okay? Because you don't want to, somebody's sincerely apologetic. They made a grave error in judgment. They made a mistake. They misspoke. They're extremely sorry. Okay, you let that go. Okay, you let that go because you don't want to, be the one keeping up a bunch of shit when the person obviously, is repentant and would rather, keep the relationship going that they have with you and possibly even improve it. Okay, that's when you do that kind of stuff that you're talking about right there. When you're dealing with nigga bitches like this man's family, you take off your kid gloves and you roll up your sleeves and you get straight gully. Okay, these bitches right here, they should have been cussed the fuck out on the microphone at your reception. See, that's where I would want to say, okay, to every bitch up in here who thinks I'm supposed to stop what I'm doing to pay attention to you bitches, I'm not fucking you. I'm fucking this man right here. Okay, so you pay attention to you. That's not a part of the program tonight. If you don't like that, there's the door. You need to cake your black ass on through it and on to hell, wherever or whatever else it is that you little demon spawn bitches belong. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you want. I want you to fuck up out of here right now. Security. Okay, that would have been me. And if he didn't like it, I would have cussed his fucking ass out too, and he could have gone with him. Now, let's go back to her husband. Okay. He's a little bitch. This is a bitch-made man. I don't know where this amazing part comes from or what she's thinking, but see, to me, the number one thing that you have to keep Deb is loyalty. Okay? This man is not loyal to you at all, lady. He's loyal to whoever these bitches are that he's allowing to bully and name call and threaten you. Now, see, his little pussyfooting approach where you talking about he's trying to, do it in a way that doesn't make them upset, but it's okay for them to like wolf pack you and attack you and say all these things to hurt you. That's okay. So he's not doing anything to intervene there to make you not be upset. He's worried about them not being upset. See, your mind is all fucked up here. You're not thinking clear. You need to roll up in there with your girls and just, at the next family gathering, act a complete fool. That's what you need to do, because his people are now, they have the message from him that he condones their behavior. I mean, you're saying that he's very close to them and he's trying to do it in a way that doesn't make them upset. I'm saying that he's condoning and supporting their behavior by his lack of action. That's what that means. When someone does not take steps to make something stop, definitively cease and desist, then that means that they're in support of it. They're just doing it in a passive aggressive way. So you see him as an amazing man. I see him as somebody who doesn't like you very much, but he's too much of a pussy to say it to your face, so he lets them women do it for him. That's what's going on right now, and that's what you don't understand. So, you talking about you're considering leaving a marriage. You should have been left it a long time ago. When a man has this kind of attitude about his wife, he's not protecting her. That's his job, to protect you from harm. He's not doing that at all. So I mean, you weren't specific about what makes this dude amazing, but for me, this part here is 75% of a marriage, and he's failing miserably. So that means you trying to make do with amazing by a 25% margin, and I'm just not really seeing where that's appropriate. And like people on the thread, let me tell you some of the stuff that they said. I just basically just ripped dude and told her to cuss, roll her sleeves up and get her bitch on. But these people were saying, well, you married to him, not them. And that's nothing to leave a marriage over. Okay, let's I was gonna read off, but let me stop and deal with this one at a time. You married him, not them. Wrong. When you get married to somebody, you marry the whole family. Unless the person is an orphan, you have to be involved with their family just as much as you do them. And every single thing that happens that family does is going to impact you as well. So you can't think that you married them and it's just some kind of island. It don't work like that. So these people obviously have never been married. They just live in some kind of fantasy world where they don't understand how having in-laws can impact your relationship. It is either very positively, if they're the right kind of folks, or very negatively. But there's no such thing as you married them, not him, not them. That doesn't apply. That's unrealistic thinking. And then there's nothing to leave him. That's nothing to leave a marriage over. A man allowing his family to disrespect you and call you names and talk about you to your face and treat you like shit is nothing to leave a marriage over. Then what is? You see, y'all take too much shit just to stay married, just to be married. I don't know what this being married means to so many black women, but if you have a marriage where you're being disrespected, these people are abusing her. That's what you're not getting. They're abusing her, and her own husband is taking part in it and allowing it to happen. He's condoning the abuse of his wife by his family. And you say that's nothing to leave a relationship over? The fuck it's not. She should have been gone. She should have been gone from that nonsense. And somebody else said, well, continue to love that man that loves you. Stop worrying about the outside. Work that inside. And if possible, you two relocate out of state. That way, when they both see you, they'll be glad. Totally wrong, wrong, wrong. If they did that, he'd be acting with, my family, you took me from my family. And they would be saying the same, look at that bitch, she moved him away from us just to get away from us. She's this, she's that, it's her fault. So and she would become the demon spawn. Trust me, that would be the worst mistake that she could make. If he's that close to them, to even suggest that he's going to be resentful of her as will they, that would be a disaster for her. That would never work. And then another one, and this was said by several different people, stay away from him as much as possible. It doesn't matter. If he's close to them, he's going to be bringing them into the house. They're going to be coming over because they're going to come to see him because they're so close. There's no escape from this situation. She's going to have to either handle it herself and tell them what's what, and she will not be taken from them anymore, or she's going to have to get a divorce. There's only the only two options here. And even after she stands up to them, there's no guarantee that they're going to stop doing what they're going to do, what they're doing now, because they're too used to it. She didn't specify how long they've been married, but the fact that they, are having a reception and they didn't have one before, we're going to assume it's at least, a year or 2 or 3 or something. So, she's been dealing with the situation for quite some time. These people are used to treating her in that way. They are not going to stop talking about her anytime soon. All right. Okay, now for the third and final question of this video. We're going to look at a relationship dilemma that concerns a man who finds out some years later, 10 years later exactly, that his wife used to be a stripper. So you got to figure, he's been married to her and they dated for a while. So this means that this was most likely, over at least a year or so before he even met the woman, right? Because he had no clue. So we're talking some ancient history. But he says that it totally caught him off guard because he found out from a male friend of his. He asked his wife why she didn't tell him about this because it was kind of messing with him. She told him it was simply in the past. So, to her it was no big deal. Did she do the right thing by not telling him? That was the dilemma that was posed. And I was surprised at how many men were all up in their feelings about this thing. One guy says one of the worst things that a piece of information rather that a man could receive is, I used to give your wife money and she used to show me her goodies. Your past can haunt you, so choose wisely what you decide isn't important. Your partner might disagree. And the women were like, she should have disclosed it. Oh, yeah, full disclosure before marriage. And this other guy says, our past builds our character and it makes us who we are now. It would be a testimony of who I was and who I am now. If she kept it to herself, she was ashamed of it and felt it might be a hindrance. Any shame of our past must be dealt with in an honest way. Tell it. It will never be used as a tool against you by someone trying to hate. He must have made a mistake there. No, it will always be used as a tool against you by someone trying to hate. And so on and so forth. So there were, people that were saying that she should have told it. One woman says to me, because I had posted my opinion, and she came back saying, well, you're right, women, we do talk too much sometimes, but a stripper is a huge secret to keep from your husband. My thought, if you didn't tell me something that's not a deal breaker nowadays, then how many children you are hiding, ex-wife, child support payments, and criminal records? Okay, so let me, go over this. My thing was that the woman was right not to tell her husband because he's a little bitch. If you keep saying that's the overriding theme here, these men are fucking bitch made. Now, what you did for work, okay, in the past, was she a hoe? No, she just danced, okay? So that's creating a fantasy. That's something like an actress. You spin it around, and there's a lot of people on beaches that show as much or more than some of these strippers do. You know what I mean? So I'm not really understanding what all this pristine virginity expectation is that this man has of this woman. You married her because she looked good, she turned you on, she screwed you good. Okay, that's all part of who she is. So if she's comfortable with her body with you, where do you think that's supposed to magically have appeared out of the blue sky? So, anyway, I started with that. So the husband is just a little bitch. He don't even know how to handle himself when some dude comes at him like that. So it's like, dude, I got bigger nuts than you do. This is just such a little bitch made man. I just can't stand it. So, the friend, let's talk about the friend. Let's jump back to the friend before I get back to the husband. This friend is a bitch. Okay, now what dude was supposed to do was inquire as to why his friend would be telling him some shit like that when it was 10, 12 years ago. What is it now that this woman is this man's wife that you hope to accomplish by telling him some shit like that? Okay, you are a bitch. You are just a little backbiter, jealous ass, hating ass bitch. Okay, and as a man, if your quote friend comes at you like that, you already married to the woman. Okay, so there ain't gonna be shit changing there. But you got to look at this. What's his motivation for saying that to you? He wanted your woman. He's mad because you got her. He wants to throw salt in the marriage, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to create doubt and fear and friction between the two of you so that you will leave her and then he could get her. And you so stupid, you don't even understand what the dude is doing. Think about this logically now. What good is it for him to tell you this? I keep referring to people don't think, they get caught up in their feelings and they don't think about why someone's doing what they're doing or saying what they're saying to you. You must always do that before you respond. Engage your brain. Okay, engage your brain. He's supposed to look at his friend and tilt his head to the side and say, nigga, what? What you just say to me? And then bust him in his mouth. Excuse me. This is just too much, for the guy to come at him like that. She also should have cussed the friend out. Cussed her husband out too. Because, hopefully he didn't go take it any further, with his wife when she said that to him, that would shut him up. But in case that he did, then he would have to get cussed out too. Because this ancient history about her past, way years and years and years before she ever met him, has nothing to do with his life at this point. Now, this, when a man looks at something like this and starts tripping about it, it's all about his ego. It's all about what he thinks, how he thinks he appears in front of other dudes. It's not about how he feels about you. It's not about how he feels about himself. It's not about how that's going to impact his life. It's not going to change nothing. It ain't going to make him get less money. It's not going to get him evicted. He's not going to get fired. There's nothing about that happening, more than 10 years ago, that's going to impact his life now. He's just in his ego and in his feelings about what some other dude thinks about him now that he knows he's married to a stripper. See, that's what that is. It's all about his ego. And, I'm of the mind that women should never do full disclosure. It happened before you met him. It's not his business. It's not his concern. It don't have shit to do with him. And he's just trying to be nosy. And if you tell him you stupid because that has nothing to do with him. Now, this lady who gave these examples of, what he might be hiding, the ex-wives or child support payments or criminal records or something like that. Okay, see, that's something that does affect you. Like I said, what she did 10 years ago does not affect him. But what if he's got something that's going to be affecting your household income, is going to be affecting his ability to get a job, his ability to get credit, your ability to buy a home, your ability to get student loans for your children, for you to get credit to buy a car, for you to get whatever it is that y'all trying to do. If he has something, credit issues and money going out or whatever, then that's going to directly impact you. And yes, you should know about that. Him being a stripper, her being a stripper 10 years ago, that doesn't affect you at all. That has nothing to do with what's going on here and now. Nothing. And it's just really interesting to me to see how people have this double standard, because a woman will take dudes that have all kind of history, marry them, to be bragging on them, all kind of stuff. But just let a woman have done, worked as a stripper for a week, don't matter. He's gonna be all up in his feelings about it. And I think this is one of the reasons why women don't tell it, and and you can't tell them, and it's not about feeling embarrassed and ashamed, because obviously she did it because she did it. So there's no shame in her game. To get the shame, feeling ashamed is you're feeling ashamed because this other guy thinks that you're something's wrong with you because you married a hooker. The shame feeling is in the male end, not the female. So people got that shit twisted as well. She's not bothered about it. It's something she did. It's just the same as somebody saying, well, I used to pick up cans for a living or whatever. Who's going to go around, just tell, how does that impact what people do now? Now you're employed, now you have a job, now you're this and you're that, that you're not that person anymore. So that doesn't have any bearing on what's going on with your life right now, and it doesn't hurt them. It's nothing that you need to discuss. That's my thing. If you have any doubts, I will put links up to some videos that explain my stance about why women need to shut the fuck up and stop telling men so much stuff. All the stuff about full disclosure is a joke. He finds out. If he finds out, then he finds out. If he don't, then he don't. But it's not going to affect his life one way or another. And it's nothing that he needs to know. It's nothing you need to go out of your way to tell him. And guys, of course, it's on the same thing. And you can bet they don't be telling you shit, some of which will directly impact you. Like he fucked around and had a baby with somebody else, and you've been married for 10 years. Okay, they don't be in a rush to tell that shit. So I don't understand why all this, this wanting all this honesty from women about some ancient history. Please, niggas in there bullshit. Anyway, I'm glad to be back. I'm hoping you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much, and I'll be back. I might even be able to squeeze in one before the holiday. Who knows? But at the latest, I'll be back on Friday with another great video for you. This is Deb Cooper. SurvivingDating.com is the website. I'll check you out in a couple of days. Bye bye. Now that you've seen some of the grade A content that the Debsterism channel offers, please become a subscriber. Just click the subscribe button down below. Then you'll see a little bell. Click that after, and then you'll be able to get notifications sent directly to your cell phone of when I post new content. You can be one of the very first people to review the new videos, like them, comment them on them, and share them. We'd like you to do all of those things to help the channel grow. I appreciate your support, so become a subscriber. Tell your friends.